Okay, folks, welcome back. It's your first time here. Tough. Still welcome back. Now, this is, I guess, the first official video of what I'm going to call guitar mods. Anything you're making a change to that would be unusual, non-standard, unconventional, non-traditional, etc. I call it mod. Like the Mod Squad. Some of you remember that. So, now, what are we going to get? This is the sound my top was ready to. Just how much we. Now, I've already done everything just about, but I'll show you what I did. On this particular electric guitar, and I've been doing this, testing this up and down. First of all, theory. A properly intonated guitar, in my opinion, there's only one way. I mean, if you want to make whatever detunings to it, that's your business. Me, I'm pured out, right? So I like it pure. I'm purist. So I want it to be exact. And in fact, if you really want to, match other instruments and stuff, you really need to do this. And to me, it's the best sound if you get it right. You don't agree? Like I said, tough. So here it is. I went to the piano back here. I'm skipping that for now. You have to trust me on some things. And you'll evaluate it here. I went to the piano. And what do you? First of all, whatever E it's got right now on that piano, I transpose it, and this is a Hawaii PS1. And for a second I was saying to transpose it, and that was happening, I don't know. Then I messed around, and then the light came on and off again, I don't know. Strange things do happen. But what it amounts to is I hit the transpose button and I went to choir pad. Then choir pad, then hit the transpose button off. That sets you a whole tone back. And I was going through a whole bunch of trouble doing it by frequency and stuff and transposing it only a half step, I think. I found out really it's not necessary. If you want to get it right, all you gotta do is go down a whole step. So I believe then you're actually at, I really have to verify it, but what it sounds like to me was whatever is right. And as far as I knew, that's my A400 tuning system. So what you've got there at that point is the A4 is 400, and to get it, so whatever it turns out to be, prove me wrong, that's the notes I want. So regardless. And then I take the C note that I get from coming down a whole step, which, if you want to get technical, that's B flat and I guess A440, but so to me A440, not as good as it could be. Never was the best. All the other tunings they tried, you're just playing around. You want to get it right. You want music. The best music has to sound the best to the body. I'm digressing, okay? If you don't get it, maybe you shouldn't be a musician. And if you feel insulted, I've been insulted all my life. What? You're not used to it? I don't know. Find something else to do. Now, hope you think I'm funny, because I'd rather think you're funny than if you hate me, because I don't need problems with people. I like people to like me, and at least don't hurt me. So, do you really want to hurt me? Okay. All right. Now, so are we going to get started here? What's holding us up? It's your fault, isn't it? Okay. Now, so then what you do is your guitar, you're not going to tune it to E, not even at this tuning. You're not going to tune it to D, no, not even at this tuning. You're going to tune it to C. And that is the best string guitar. One other thing I'm striving for is relaxation, to be relaxed. So, these are things we need in our music today, in my opinion. And I keep saying in my opinion to be politically correct, because if I say this is the way it is, then you think, what does he think? He's God or me? We know how to go there. Now, no more than you can be or are. And remember that, as far as I'm concerned, the oldest person on the planet that still has brains is the highest God here. And that's my friend, 85 years old, veteran of war. And I'm doing this, I don't know, I got started on this, I'm supposed to fix the website today. What can I say? Hopefully I get paid $4,000 an hour, no matter what I do it for. So, somehow it'll get back to me, right? Okay, well, like I said, back to what we're going to do. So we made some mods to the guitar, and we tuned it to see it work. But before, we had to loosen all the strings down. Some of the stuff should be common sense to you. To get down to the intonating part down here, I've had, you really have trouble if you don't loosen strings. The little Allen wrench nuts, and why should I show you what an Allen wrench looks like? If you don't know, Google it. So, in any case, and they're the very smallest. It happens to be the absolute smallest that we had on our set. So if that's what you want to know what size it is. And let's see here. What did I do? Okay, all right. Okay. So the first thing I did. Now I do still have some dirt under here, and if your guitar, whatever you just got it, or you haven't cleaned it well, and you've got cat hairs everywhere, whatever it is. I got 2 of them clean because I had. Now it was strange because this is. I always talk about it because people think I did it in my sleep. No, I didn't do this. But I noticed my strings felt tight today, and I don't know what it was. And my guitar was tuned from C to E. I was gone all day yesterday, eating chips and sauce somewhere, and I don't know. And if you go out by yourself, the price you won't pay is you don't know what the hell happens at home too much later. So that's your punishment. Now, teach you a lesson. So whatever it is, I think someone was playing my horn. I don't know. Look, I'm gonna put anyone on trial here. Let's go back to what we were talking about. So whatever the case is, that's how I got started with this guitar, because something I noticed was wrong. The string felt under a lot of tension. I know I don't tune the guitar under tension, and that's how I knew. So while I was doing that, I didn't know what the problem was at first. I didn't even know it was just maybe that it was tuned too high. I started thinking, well, it looked like the little guys down here were raised too high, and perhaps they were anyway. Or both was, I don't know, whatever it is. As I was I tinkered, I cleaned it up, and somehow I lost one of the little pieces. I mean, I'll show you that one. Let's see. This guy here. Oh no, I lost another one. It's okay, I'm playing now. And see, I took out half of them basically, and anyway, it's the little screw thing that goes up and down in the chamber that raises the action of the guitar. Okay, so what I wound up doing is when I lost that one, I said, and I was thinking, this is interesting. And actually, my B string, the old naming convention method, by as you buy the strings, right? This is B. what we could call it what would be the second string, right? First string, which order is that? Sixth string, I don't know. I forget what order it's in. I mean, the one up from the highest string. That one there, right now, I don't know. I couldn't get it to, sometimes I let things happen naturally, as they say, okay? And this one won't, the other ones up top here, I took out the one, I decided that I liked the one on the top side to stay in, and that the one on the bottom side I'd pull out. And it reminded me my grandma said to, keep both eyes open. Later, things are cool, close one in a relationship, and I don't know if we should really do that anymore, I wasn't thinking about it. But that works here because once I got it set, I took out one of the screws and everything's fine, and it really sits good in those. And that was the first 4 strings. When I got to the lower 5th string here, I mean the high frequency 5th string, it slanted down on an angle, but it's happy that way, it seems. And I really haven't checked the action on it, but if it's good, I think I'm gonna leave it where it is. It seems to be, gotta go on feel sometimes if you're supposed to have feel if you're a musician. So that's sitting the way it is. Now my high E string broke on me while I was tightening it partly because I didn't, that's when I discovered it, because as I was trying to reach the high note, which would have been a high C in this case, I don't know, it just snapped on me. And that's because it was under low tension anyway. So you might also find you're not breaking 5th and 6th, B and E and high E strings with this kind of tuning tube. A lot of advantages. Generally, the guitar sounds so much fuller at lower tunings, and I find it's just awesome this way. I don't know if I'd ever change it now that I've got it. Maybe you'll agree. So all this talk, and I used so I got 5 strings right now. I'm too lazy to get the other one. I got strings, but I haven't done that yet. That's too much right now, but it sounds good with 5. I don't think I'll leave it with 5, but it's pretty cool. And so where was I at here? Now this tuning, this tuning, it goes C, G, C again, the next E, then the G, and then if I have the last one, of course, it's C again. Now, I've gotten to where I tune this thing. Now, I've got all the distortion on it. Sometimes, and I found in this case, if you've got your distortion on and everything, sometimes it's very much easier to tune because for some reason, it helps to augment the dissonance between detuning when it's detuned. So, and I found also, as I discover things all the time, just 2 strings basically is easy. So I hear a little bit of rumbling. First, let me check to see. Oh, no, it's just going to play it by absolutely here. I only got the C because of my mid. That one sounds okay. Yeah, that guy got maybe a little sharp. So let's go. Yeah, he was a little sharp. See, now it's good. Now, I learned something about tuning. Hopefully this all goes through. Now this one's so I'll do a little bit now. And next one. Pretty close. Good enough. Let's see if I forgot more. Now, if this sounds good, I got a little thing. Now, what's interesting about this tuning is you can get those, I believe they're major chords. They have to be because it's a major tuning. It's C, G, straight off there. So it's a major C to start with. Great way to start. Anybody, I mean, I don't care if you're an expert, okay, you feel like using the standard tuning and, because you've got those chords memorized and, like most people, they don't want to change. It's a shame to me, and you're entitled to your opinion on that one. But for those of you who want to get adventurous, and this is really fun to do this, I found, you may really like this as a tuning. To me, I think everybody should do it this way. Of course, this way. Whatever I do, I think everybody should do it. I'm messed up. What can I say? Okay, so what you got is, and I'm going to get, I know you're getting suspenseful maybe, that I want to hear this. So you got major chords, just by one finger, bar it. That's it. And I found, and then after that, it's experimentation to see your intervals and what the new fingering is and stuff to get what you need. I'm still working on it myself. A lot of times I hit it by ear. I really don't know what notes I'm really hitting yet. I haven't gone into the details. But, hey, sometimes you just want to play, and you got time, sit there and learn every detail about everything. Never enjoy yourself, right? It's like learning everything about the world and the universe and everything. You want to spend the time to learn all of that. Well, I don't know, when would you get around to actually doing anything? Okay, so here we go. Hey, that sounded good to you, baby. You're gonna start believing something I say. And this is, I don't even know, sometimes that last string is really twangy, and I'm still wondering, that might just do 5 strings. Why? Because, what if the guitar had 10 strings? You say, how do you know 10 strings? I mean, there are 10 strings on the guitar. That's the way they made it. This is the kind of logic I get tired of. I really do. My chord is, I was gonna put my seat on. Oh, maybe you do, but maybe you should, because you don't try well. Anyway, other topics, very controversial. Just ignore it for now. Don't ignore it. Food for thought. But whatever, you got to be safe. And sometimes the things that you think are secure and safe, in my opinion, are less secure, because you're no longer using your mind to do as much, relying on something possibly automated. Automated things, well, they're good, they're reliable, they're stupid. Just remember that. Automation is stupid, maybe necessary in certain conditions, but it's not intelligence. It takes intelligence to automate, but the automation itself should not be relied on as something intelligent to rely on. To make any sense, yeah? Okay. You can slide really easy. I don't remember. I had a little tune. I was trying to try. I really wasn't prepared with this song or anything. That was pretty good. I didn't know nothing. Then I found one just a minute. It says, that sounds good, doesn't it? That one didn't work out. Some of them, I don't know why that doesn't work there. Maybe it does. Slipped right past it. I don't know, my fingers must be sweaty from that. No excuses. I can make any excuse I want to. Yeah, dog, yeah. figure out something else that we can do. Let's find some other chords here. Now that one was doing, what was it basically? It's a major, actually it's a chord that's used in the standard tuning. Well, now you've got a different flavor to it, obviously. And you might find that sometimes you can do a standard chord in this tuning or some of the other tunings I've tried. But I think this is going to be my favorite from now on. And they do provide you some chord. Usually it's more complex. In this case, I think it is a little more. So, I'll say, now you can just try other. So if I go down, oh, that's right, I don't have any string. That one works too. That's coming down. That's leaving the bar, and then after the bar, the top three are open. And then let's see if you see what I'm thinking. Okay, that's right here. So the what is it? The fourth finger is barring the bottom two. What will be the bottom three, but this one's missing, right? So, it's a chord. It's valid. Sometimes it doesn't work everywhere, but maybe that one here should be with the 4 strings minus 1 bar. Yeah, so that works good. Alternating those 2 chords with the 2 and 4, and that's how I got that. I just did it. I don't even know what I'm doing. So, my friend Vegetable War says, when God shows us things, he's darn right. You stumble upon them, you do, and I do it all the time. So where are we at? So. Notice I don't use a pick. I used a pick for years. Matter of fact, I would go through the trouble of buying a custom pick of a certain specific thickness by DelNeu, a gray pick too. And instead of getting like the standard, oh, this is said heavy, this said light, this said medium, heavy, medium, whatever. And because I was really particular, and for a while I liked it. Now, since I don't know, like I said, to me electromagnetic stuff has gotten plastics to be awful. I lost my pick for a long time. I wound up changing the vacuum bag, and dumped everything out. I found my pick and felt it, and I said, and I was already playing without it so long. I said, yeah, time for garbage. It's not going to be good. So I'm pickless. I wouldn't pick again. I still pick my nose occasionally. I try to get away with it. Get away from that too. In any case, I just strum with the thumb and maybe pull back on the first finger. Little dissonance, perhaps tuning shift a little bit. Make sure it's flat. I didn't really check all the strings. I got a little sharp. I don't know how, because especially that felt a little sharp. So when you hit the bass string, and you hit the octave, it sounds the same peacefulness. You probably got the sweet spot. It sounds a little agitated, a little like it's fast, making your mind race. It's a little sharp. It sounds sleepy. It sounds it's a little sharp too. That one's okay. Well, so let's try it. I don't know what maybe I'll crank it back down or something. Yeah, it did. It was cranked all the way down a little bit. That was fine. Sure. I don't know. I had it all the way cranked. Now that one, I mentioned it. On the, I didn't mention, that's why gotta move that stuff. Okay, I didn't mention this. On the screws that move your intonation, which is the right-left movement, not the up-down movement. On this particular card, possibly all guitars, like I said, need to be cranked all the way back to the see, I got it light all the way back to the bass. Now, what's funny is you'll never ever get it intonate. A lot of times, I won't tell you the truth, there are people who want you to play around and never get it right because they don't want you to get in the music business, make a lot of money, and be competition to them. So it's tough. It's very hard to become a paying musician. And it's because of things like that. You got obstacles that you don't understand. To me, one of the obstacles I finally got to realize, standard tuning isn't going to get things done very fast. Matter of fact, that reminds me, I was at a club growing up. It's called House of Rock. Probably isn't many places called that. And I watch the bassist and the guitarist. Well, at least the bassist I was watching. And I was looking at his finger, and I said, I thought to myself, he can't be using the tuning I use on my bass guitar. And something even told me then, but it was kind of like in the back of my, I just like let it go, and until like now, we're talking like, what is it, 30 years later, and now it must have been, and that's why, and that's why everything's so easy and fast to do, and that's why the bands have no problem. And you sit there with the standard tuning that you're taught as an amateur, and you're sitting there contorting your fingers all over the place, and you wonder why you hit so hard, because you trusted something that you were taught by your teacher who taught them, and it's not the when you get out of the commercial business, it just ain't. Yeah, some people do it maybe. I think, I don't know, if nobody else does it, I should patent it, right? But I happen to think it's done. Now, which reminds me, like, just like we're forced in the Americas to speak English, and we don't know any other language, and well, so this is wonderful. English is a tongue twister. I would rather speak Portuguese if I could, because I think I'll probably save 50% of my energy to speak it or more. And I could use it for something else. And it's the same principle here. It's like, this is so much less energy to play the guitar. And you're making the same sound or better out of it. So like, you gotta start thinking, like, think out of the box, or like rethink things, this is the way to go. And something I made myself, he's crazy. Call please. Yeah. And really, it's true. And what else I was thinking? Just a second, just flew by my mind. Something else just like that. And I made it music that I noticed. Well, like the tuning on the piano, like the tuning. That skipped over one. I was thinking, the tuning on the piano happened. You got the notation right. You go buy something like I had Emerson Lake and Palmer, and they've got the notation, and yeah, you want to get the pitch they want on your piano. That's really been tuned about what I say, a whole step higher. And so you're looking, and now you've got to read whatever, B flat major or something, or 5 flats or 5 sharps, and you're struggling with this, and you somehow contort your fingers and play it. And if the musician who was there was right there with you, he'd probably laugh, and he said, all I did, and of course we do it now easily with transposing, and it's not wimpy in some ways. I think it is wimpy to, well, I don't need, I can, all right. Bottom line is, chances are good that, well, I don't know. It may be that you need to play it in B flat in this tuning. I don't know. You test it yourself. I don't care. Okay? I know I'm doing it the way I'm doing it. And matter of fact, if I was going to learn something now, as I did even before, I had not only the notation, I have the music ready to play. And if you do play the music from a CD or off the internet, you're going to have to remember what I do now, and that is, chances are, check it, because you may need to take 90% of the playback rate to get what was really recorded in the studio, and then you're getting the right pitch that was recorded in, and now you take that and you play it on your instrument, and you can play it with this tuning. Whatever you think. Honestly, do whatever works for you. But to me, I'm going to do it this way because I've got everything at the lowest stress I can get it, and I'm sitting here just rambling now. So, only thing I was thinking, there was another factor, and I can't remember what it was. There's a lot of fooling going on. That's all I'm going to say. Well, when I was talking about, I said I was right. I said that something was different, and so it might have just been that particular. You could look at it as an individual basis or a general thing, but that particular band I noticed gave me an idea somewhere that said, if you can get it done with strings at any other tuning, and a friend of mine played me, I don't know who the artist is, But there was a guy who was like very famous for one of the first people who would change tunings on guitars and play. And he played really neat stuff. And I heard it only at that guy's house. And that also gave me the idea eventually to try this. So, like I said, and just about anything goes. And most people don't realize that anything goes, and they stay, blinders on and do it one way and are forever tormented by it. And that goes for, like I said, a lot of things that are in life today. Like I don't have rubber feet on my electronics and stuff like that. Why? It's dragging me down. Listen to Missing Persons on my website, because there's a song called U.S. Drag, and I understand what she's talking about there. It has to do with all these things, the little things that don't belong. Like this one, can you tell which one it is? Cosmic Street. That these little things that don't belong are like tax, like Beatles say, the tax man comes to them too out there. And if you want, they're going to tax you forever on this little stuff that basically sonically tweak and is bad. It's not harmonious with your hum. What usually ends up happening is you get enough of this stuff, you don't know why you're having arguments every minute, no one's communicating right, because that natural subliminal communication between people, that connection that's now that is getting broken in your home because you've got stuff in it. And this I read, and almost didn't believe it, in a Christian magazine of all things that my first wife had. I don't know why I was attracted to open up the magazine and read it, and stumble again right upon this article, and it was crazy. It says, you got to watch what's in your home, and think, God, these people are just, are just going overboard on this stuff. Like the Amish or something. No. Eventually get to the point where you say, they got a point there. They may state it in some weird way, and they want to make references to things maybe you don't understand, or whatever the encrypted, I call it encrypted language of the Bible. You may not get that, but what they state sometimes, plain English, layman's terms, as the example of what they're talking about, sometimes is enough. I learned a lot of coding. Many times I try to read about what they were trying to, or any subject matter in school, and sometimes I say, I just skip to the example. I see how it's done, and I understand it in reverse engineering. Sometimes it works a lot better. And if you're frustrated going one direction, try it from the bottom up. Can't go the top down. Figure out from the bottom up. And either way, as long as you two sides meet, you got it. And if anybody needs to understand that, I'm glad I could help. So I'm probably the last now. Everybody else knows everything. So yeah. Right. Now I get back to what I was going to say. In order to get these to the base of the thing without any space, another thing you have to have faith to do, that I had faith to do. There were springs, and I don't know, they were creating, of course, tension, and of course, the kind of logic they're hoping you're going to see as to why not to take them out is that they're somehow keeping these pieces that do all the intonating and stuff from shaking or moving or anything like that. Keep them in place. The tension, they was staying. The tension is what's holding me together. BS. That's just an excuse to support the fact that you've got a lot of tension in your life and that you should just ignore it. That's all that is. And same thing here. And springs are another thing that's off my list. Springs, rubber bands, rubber feet, the list goes on and on. And I don't know. There's more. And you can find them yourself if you get into right into who does yeah, the Who did, that's right. That's it. Who? The Who. Who are the Who? Who? Okay. So I don't know. I don't want to hear anymore. But this is pretty nice. I don't know if I could get another chord example. Maybe something up high. You just test it. You just try a half step up and down until you hit something that works. See, there's one right there. That's what happens. Doesn't sound like something out of Jed Clampett, Beverly Hillbillies, when something happens and Mr. Clydesdale, gets doesn't get his way or something. He thinks he's going to outsmart Jed Clampett, and something like that. I always stumble upon that somehow every now and then. I had a whammy bar on this. It was a tremolo actually, a full whammy bar. Obviously, this is a tremolo. Wouldn't really do that for you, and it was working great. I had to get a replacement tremolo bar thing that fit and then you got to worry about it's a millimeter thing, and I had to guess. I got lucky. I ordered one, it fit. I tried to measure. I thought a screw that. I downloaded this graph of diameter things. Anyway, I got the right one, and it was an awkward bend in it and everything. And I still got the springs back here. I can't take those out, I don't think. And that would affect this whole piece completely. So those springs have to stay. Has to stay. But what I started to realize, and I started to worry about it, was that there's a chance I was going to mess up this guitar permanently by using it a lot. And it did hold tune very well, and it was reliable. And then I think something snapped or lost something, a screw that was like I said, things happen as far as I'm concerned. Act of God's usually, or whether it kept you away from something you shouldn't have got involved in usually. And sometimes we force ourselves to say, well, you buy this, you get fixed, and spend all this money, and you're so unhappy. Me, I let it slide a lot of times, and this is one time I let it slide because I just thought, this probably is what's better, and it is, and I don't have to deal with that. Yeah, it was fun. I can still bend a string, like that, so no worry. That's good enough. I can do a tremolo, and it's basically the same. I don't have to grab a bar, So it wasn't even, if it was a whammy bar, well, I have more exciting. And that stuff is really only one genre that you can use it for. And, if you're a songwriter and you want to get the job done, you can get it away from it pretty much. Matter of fact, if you think about it, if you work it out, since you're recording digitally, hopefully you are, probably you can do an effect. If you can do a local effect in a time range on that track and get what you want out of it when you need it. If you're not, there's the possibilities of getting around not having a whammy bar. If you got one, you got a good guitar, and you know how to handle it. My old guitarist, Clint, was an expert having that stuff, but it is a lot more maintenance to handle that. So be prepared. I had a company I worked for. My supervisor, this was new to me. I was going to do all these extra things. She says, Dale, it's going to have to be maintainable. I don't think you should do that. It's not going to be maintainable. And most part of the time she convinced me of that. And occasionally I still went overboard on things. In some ways I did some stuff there that was overboard. I try to automate. I don't want to hear all this anyway. But there was a major automation I was doing, including this thing called a manifest file that was going to track every single file. I didn't think it was even necessary. I thought it was overkill, but my manager insisted upon it, and I think that's where I went. Again, I should have just told him it's not maintainable. I should like used my supervisor's advice on him, so we don't do it. But he wanted it, and honestly, it wasn't maintainable. It was too much for the program. But it went in, and I was overwhelmed mentally at that point. I don't know, and I had driven 3 years to Miami, and I jumped ship. They let me jump ship, and I think I could say it was happening, and that was it. So I don't know who took over. I don't even know if they figured it out or how. Maybe they were sharp, young-minded, and figured out where I was going, or they dropped the whole thing and went back to something simpler. I know now. But it was an awesome idea. It was but just very complicated to maintain. It would have been. And what happened was I had hoped to get it right the first shot, and then there were some complications. And I know now when you start getting into the complications, and you realize finding that thing is like a needle in a haystack because there's so much complex stuff. Then you really got to start thinking about going back to something simpler. My dad would say KISS principle, keep stupid. I say I don't want to say stupid, but keep it simple. Keep it simple, or something. But and this is keeping it simple because you take out the springs, which you don't need, and everything holds its place, and you've gotten rid of something. The more I find, the lighter the guitar, the more things you can get off of it. I even say, if you look here, I had, well, of course, you don't have the face plate on here, and that's gone. Well, the reason that first left was because I'm using it's like a $10 acoustic. Let's see it. Lighting's poor. There. $10 acoustic pickup. Perfectly quiet. The electric guitar pickups, at least the ones at the edge of this being made, I just couldn't get them to be quiet. And this is so easy. And I actually took the time and drilled it out somehow, routed it out a little larger to get the plug through and the hole. I used black electrical tape, it's black guitar fortunately, and taped it down. There's no screws, didn't do, I did the minimum and it's enough. Matter of fact, I used to solder wires all the time. I thought it was required, I solder wires. I get away now. I've got a way, I don't solder anything anymore, and I can make sure it doesn't come apart. And if it does, it's a lot simpler to deal with. And if you do it right and tape it right, I used to tape it all out, tons of tape, and then then the wire would something go loose. Oh my God! Take all the tape off, got it. So, oh my God, what was I doing? And now I use a minimum tape. And I make sure I separate the wires. It's another topic, right? Well, you got to know all this stuff anyway. Musicians know this stuff, and they're good. They're good. You're good, right? Get there. And so basically, like, what was it that I have? Well, actually, it was my laptop power thing. I wanted to get rid of another problem and another necessity. They got these little like cylindrical things. I don't know. They're using it for degaussing. I don't know what it is. And something they got them like shoved in your wire. Personally, I just think it's for them to see what you're doing somehow. But them, you know they. And I didn't want it on my power cord. I tried to get off of everything, or at least I crushed it or something. I don't know. And when I crushed it, actually, it broke my circuit. So I'd actually cut it out and splice it together. So, and also there was a light on it, on the jack, and I took that out too. Now, nuts, right? So, when I was putting it together, there's 3 wires. So, before I put them together, like right together, tape it off, and that would be a problem. Now, I'm sure people gotten smart everywhere, but I'd figure this out on my own. I bend one over and tape it to the wire there. I bend the second one the other way, tape it to 7 into the wire. Middle one I tape separately, and I tried to, and also when I cut them different lengths. I used to cut them everything the same length, and that's why they were done. I was done. I meant it. So I always cut. I cut. If I cut one short, the other one's long, and then I cut one medium, and I cut other one long and a short, and that way, I'm reducing. A slight problem, but it's just it's got 100 in it. You got to reduce the probability of problems. So, like I said, it's interesting. Like I said, you cannot get this guitar like it sounds right now without getting rid of springs. You have to do several things in May to get it to where you get to here. And that was one of them, is the springs had to get it. Unfortunately, I already knew from other things that I hated springs. So, spring the season, I guess, is okay. But that's maybe the only spring I don't mind. And that's it. And I don't know why we spring forward and fall back. I think a lot of people would like to stop that. I'll petition that in this video now. Can we stop doing that? Do the farmers still need that? I don't think so. And I wouldn't do it the other way, although it's kind of more comical, to spring back and fall forward. But I think from this spring forward, fall back, we are going to spring back and fall forward if we keep doing it. And that's my opinion. Again. So that's what it took to get this guitar in shape. New pickup, take out the springs, summer here. And I recently today got rid of half the Allen screws, left the top side. And if it lays over, I'm not going to worry about it. As long as I can get the string high enough that my action's not buzzing. And I think there is a compromise to me, because if the string gets too high, it's kind of unusual. It kind of feels weird to play it. So, work within what you can do. I'm sure other people do this. If it's buzzing, you can, this is where it gets to be destructive if you go too far and irreparable. But I have taken time to sand some of the frets in certain spots on this. It's a risky operation. It really is. You could ruin your whole guitar, and you really can. But if you're kind of careful and you figure out exactly which fret's buzzing in the right point. But I don't know. I don't want to get into describing how to do that. I'm not an expert. It's more like a luck shot at this point. I have to think about it more. But it is common sense, probably that, which direction maybe start at the higher fret. I don't know. If you're going to do that, I'll tell you, more power to you. Hope you don't get it so you can't recover the fact that your string buzzes and it starts to buzz so bad you can't tolerate it. So sometimes they say, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And as a policy, sometimes if you want to enjoy something before you experiment with it too much, it doesn't work. I've taken a lot of chances. There are times I've lost equipment over it. But usually I'm dealing with something that's not so expensive to replace, so it doesn't matter. And in fact, this guitar was used for $25, I think it was. It was $25? I think it was $50 at most. And that's amazing, because this is like a $300 guitar thing originally. She said that all it needed was strings. Well, it wasn't quite true. didn't, the electronics were messed up and the pots were dirty and stuff. And that's another thing. Good thing I remember that. This is direct. And why do I need volume and tone? Duh. I've got that on other effects here. And I've got volume on the amplifier. I mean, I've got volume. And I've got it. The more things you've got, that different. And then you sit here playing with this one and that line, and then you got to deal with there's sweet spots and pots too, and so now you got to deal with juggling 2 or more pots to find out where the best sound is if you want to take that kind of time, and you really should, because we're talking sound here. Best sounds are usually the most efficient ways that the current is flowing. Flow, things have to flow. Flow is your guide. She is your guide. And it doesn't have to be the girl in progressive commercial. And I didn't mean to plug them because I don't believe much in car insurance. My policy is get something cheap, but get something at a company like I found with my wife now that has like normal people that run it, not people that like are robotic and they're just not like you. I mean, human beings that are being human. If they ain't doing that, don't give them your business, because they're just going to go on like that forever, and they're going to learn if they can, and you're going to be dealing with that. You're going to turn into one. You wonder if you'll turn into one of them, and it's going to bother you. And get away from these people. And that's what I do as much as I can. Give your energy, strength, support, whatever you're doing, only now to those that you could call your friend and go play basketball with, go to a party with, and you'd actually enjoy their company. If they have people like that, you're really barking up their own tree. So. So, you're getting a clean sound, and you're reducing all the noise because you're taking out as much again. Because at the lighter guitar, it's about vibration shit, and the more things vibrating, and particularly if they're not, well, there's just more chance for dissonance, discord, friction. It's not a good word. There's more friction created by more parts that happen to be moving around. And somewhere in your ear or in your head or somewhere, this is affecting things. So, like I said, the simpler the better. And by taking that plate off, there were all the screws that were keeping the plate down. And not to mention, people tend to say, they want to tighten things really hard. And no doubt when I got this guitar, that plate was screwed down as tight as it could go. And again, I go back to the fact you're trying to create music to relieve tension from people in this world who need to listen to music to relax. That's regardless of what type of music. I mean, not just the people who do this, like ocean sounds and stuff, and it's wonderful. I had a CD of that too. I mean, we're talking any kind of, even hard rock, whatever. I mean, even the hardest punk metal, whatever you want to call it, even rap, it should all help to calm you. I think people would listen to it more. The ones that wind you up eventually, you gotta turn off. And if it's not winding you up at all, and it is a wind-up song, you've already broken your wind-up. So, I think about says it all. And they said, and it's true, I said high vibrations. It was are very negative, high vibrations. I don't know if it's just about high vibrations, because, like I said, this is sounding really cool, and I don't have high string on it. And if high happens to mean high frequencies, I think what the statement is just misleading, because of my understanding vibrations or something. It has to do with vibrations that are unnatural, conflicting, causing dissonant vibrations, and frequencies that don't match the natural frequencies of the body, which I think are multiples of, whatever multiples of 400 are the best, which, and I never really discussed this. I discussed this, but not on video either. It's my first official video about anything like this. And what I discovered also, and a lot of this is like, I deduced it like logic, like Sherlock Holmes. What you got there with 400, what kind of numbers you got? It comes down to a 2, a 1, and a 5. I don't know if there's any other numbers involved, honestly. You say, well, there's 4 for this 4. Well, 4 is actually 2 times 2. If you know any math, it breaks down, so you're back to 2. And 4, of course, is in there, but I mean, things are 4, but you still, what you really got is 2s. You got 2 2s. So, and why does that, and I think about it, and I thought it just came out like 5 fingers, 2 eyes, 2 ears, 2 legs, 2 arms, 2 nostrils, and everything else is like 1, right? 2 breasts, 2 things down there for the man, whatever it is. Okay, so you get the point here. Do you see anything on the body that's 3? Do you see anything on the body that's what are the numbers on there? That's it. You got 3, then comes 7, right? I mean, and of course, you had this on a Saturday morning commercial, a little 12 toes. Well, 12 things that would mean having something with 6 in it, and 6 is 3 times 2. So again, there would be something of 3s. I mean, I'm hard pressed. Let me Google it. I don't think there's anything in our body that's in 3s. Well, you got the brain. Now you say that the brain, but really, if you ask me, the bass is not like these. So, and as far as identicalness, so really you've got 2 and 1. That's what I would say. As far as uniqueness, and we're talking uniqueness here. So, and I think people say, well, the right brain does this and the left brain does, and the right brain comes on the left side. To me, I've decided that's all bullshit. That's fine. So don't listen to that either. If anything, what's in the brain is I would say, at least in my brain, right matches left. If it's anything like a computer, it should be mirrored. That way, it makes more sense that originally, maybe when you're born it was. Now that happens to you screw you up later. And somehow people get right-handed and left-handed. My guess is we should be ambidextrous. Musicians end up being ambidextrous to some point. And that's probably what we're supposed to be, but somehow, we favor this, favor that, and then things get damaged on the parts. We're not favoring it, usually lose it, and then all of a sudden we've come up with being stuck right-handed or left-handed. We can work our way back from that, of course. And matter of fact, I didn't make my plug for, I'll say it's not official, but it's brought to you by, I found this blood root homeopathic version, and that'll keep you, that'll straighten you out. That'll get you that agreement between right and left side and everything. And that's working for me a lot. It's by a brand name called Herb Farm, PHARM. And I know I not farm a lot, but it just happens to be the name is farm. But it really is very good, very powerful. I don't know what percentage is blood root. It's very red in color, and I think like most homeopathic it uses that's not a form of alcohol to keep it well, but whatever that is, it's not harmful. And I have found, I do think a lot of alcohol is bad. I think the doctors didn't want you to drink a glass of wine a day. Just want you to see them more often, get sick. And I've been thinking too, and I love grape juice, but grapes are from a vine, and I wonder sometimes if that's causing, because I know to me a lot of hair that's growing on you, it's not a good thing for the skin eventually. The hair will wants to age your skin. So most of the hair that comes that you get since puberty actually is actually slowly going to kill you eventually. That's what I determined. And I think what promotes it is things like testosterone, because it's a male thing. And people say, well, you need the testosterone for health, or it can be your libido. No, that's all a lie. I don't need that. I don't think so. And what else? I know we're off topic again, but it's all good info. And like I said, the hair and all that. But I think you get the picture. So, what I was saying. Well, let's play a little bit more. You relax here. And this is another thing. I'm getting thirsty, right? And people. I don't know if this is too very controversial, but just think about it. Every pill you're taking that makes you feel better afterwards. I bet you're dehydrated, you don't know it half the time, and you're just lucky you even take that pill with a glass of water. That body's probably more happy that you drank that glass of water, an extra glass of water that you would normally not drink, because you had to take a pill. Then the value of the pill, the water was doing more for you. But in how many cases, water is what helping you. And another thing on designs, and this is, I don't care for people in chemotherapy, because I said hair has something to do. Hair has something, less hair actually you're going to feel healthier, alive. What does chemotherapy do? You lose your hair. It's the loss of the hair that's more to give you a chance to heal than the stuff they're pumping into you. And in fact, if you need chemotherapy, I do. I'm not worried about the chemicals I use. If any chemicals are of any value to you, I'll say Rick, test them. This is serious. Test them on your drugs. Because if that gets excited over whatever you're putting on, whatever you're putting on it, there's a better chance it's going to help you, because that's determining that your body likes it through the skin. Because just because it tastes good, that's some kind of indication, but this is better. And of course, when you take a pill, you don't taste it all. They want you to swallow it whole. And I do suggest, if you are taking pills, if it's in a capsule, open it, taste it, see what you're getting. If it tastes really bitter, you think about it. You might be poisoning yourself, and whatever it is they're giving you, you just think about it and see how you feel, because it'll get right into you faster if you get. And if it's a hard pill, you know, chew it up in your mouth, taste it, see what you're getting, and let it go to work faster, because they don't want you to notice what it does. That's why they suggest you swallow number one. And that creates a swallowing problem too. You'll start swallowing all the time. And then you're swallowing air, and then you're causing other problems. And that's what's very bad. So, like I said, see what you're getting, and try to see how it will affect you. And if swallowing it down your stomach, you might notice it. Well, what do they suggest? Take it with milk. Milk is, because it all comes up. Another thing milk is used in case you're poisoned. You drink milk because it'll keep the poison from possibly killing you and getting into your bloodstream at a high concentration. So you gotta put things together. But you don't take the time, you don't educate, you're too busy working, you gotta do a million things just to stay afloat. It's a shame. It's not your fault in some ways. But then again, what are you doing with your free time? You're on your phone playing games, well, you gotta watch shows, that's one thing. That's what you're watching. What about, you need to wait, you're watching television. You know, it's your life. And if you think, well, it doesn't matter, Mom, it's disposable. I've got somewhere I want to be. Can't wait to get there after I die. And even that, how educated are you that that's the truth you need? The education you need is self-education. I mean, and they say don't self-medicate, you do too. But so, who's going to put the pill in your mouth? That comes from your hand into your mouth. So it's still self-medication, isn't it? No matter what, even if you take it on their schedule or whatever. And another thing is, they're more likely to be prescribing you an amount that's higher than what you need. That's just it. What they say, what's to be safe. Again, I say it's because it sounds safe, or it does. Like it's safe. It doesn't mean it's safe. Sorry. That's my opinion. I'm not going to say tough if you don't believe it, but life's going to get tougher if you don't believe it. Sorry. School apologetics, I apologize. That's true. So, even though the song, it's kind of a frost sticking egg bells. And it's called Pop Those Pills Inside, Commit a Little Suicide. One day, I haven't recorded that. I never got around to thought it wasn't a very important song, but it probably would be finished. And I said, are all pills bad? I don't know, it depends what's in them. So it depends whether your body's reacting to it in a positive manner. And that also depends on whether you can even tell that. Because so many medications, what they're designed also to do is to numb your senses. Or you're taking something else for pain. Or one pill's actually causing you pain that you're taking another pill to stop that pain. You wouldn't know, would you? How would you know? And they've got the time. Your doc has oodles of time. He's wealthy. And he's been working with the other doctors. And you're struggling, and you're trusting him. And this is how it all happens. So there was one book that I came across in my travels, never read a lot of books. Sometimes the title's enough for me that I don't read too much into it, because sometimes once you get into the book, it gets to be misleading and convoluted, or convoluted, confusing is the better word. And so, but the title was going. It said how to take control of your life and time. And the only thing, the gist of it is, it's your decision. You've got to decide that the time is more valuable spent doing for yourself first. Because if you tank, you can't open another this anymore. You might as well be a kamikaze pilot in reverse. You know, you're a suicide bomber. Only the difference is that you're a suicide helper. And then what's even worse is, if you don't know it's killing you, and sometimes you don't, and you think it's great, and then you're recommending this stuff to someone else too, and you're putting them on a suicide train without even knowing it. And I recently today discovered a product, I won't mention it anymore, but I tested it again because I'd used it in a long time. And honestly, I wouldn't recommend reading it. I wouldn't recommend it. Almost. And, because I thought it was working, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend it. But it's not the blockers. But this is what happens. Sometimes an honest mistake that we'll recommend things. But what I'm finding out is a lot of times it's not an honest mistake. It's based on reading. And in fact, based on how much I knew about the product, I was probably looking up to make some money off of it long before I understood it. Again, so guilty taking. So I wouldn't recommend that product. And even early in my life, I tried to do this twice. But you keep going. And the person who got me is on this product. Probably still thinks it's great and takes it every day. And I'm wondering if I should tell him that he should stop when he listens to me. But sometimes, you want to do something, you should. But if you're a little wary about that, maybe give it a couple of days, whatever, and wait till some words come in your heart that seem to be the right ones. You want to cast a pebble, yeah, like Emerson, and make a ripple, but you don't. Sometimes you only want a ripple, because if it's a tidal wave, sometimes it hits a rock and comes back, and you're all wet. So, I think you get the picture here, and so this is actually also an episode about what I call unnecessities and your necessities, and it's the same principle can be applied to anything. Things are mixed in with your necessities that just don't need to be there. Right now I'm actually staring at the camera that's I have. It has a wonderful blue, soothing indigo blue light. Now, I don't know this camera, I can't touch it, but I'm not going to. But you think about it. I know the camera's operating because I can see it working, right? What do I need a light shining at me from the camera to prove that it's working? Why do I need two indicators? You So I saw there, and this is I researched recently particularly, it's an LED. And it's not part of the camera. But in fact, what people don't know is an LED, and I don't know how many other forms of artificial light, actually have the ability somehow to be a camera or somehow to be aware of the surroundings and report it somewhere. And that's what's new. It's invading your privacy somehow. And in fact, my eyes start, the more I look at it, I start to get dry, it starts to hurt, like red eye. It's like a strobing effect that some people, my wife has that. She would appreciate me if I took it out and they do it. She wouldn't even know it was missing. Didn't laugh. Or, you know, if you don't want to bust up or you're afraid you're going to break the whole camera, this is what I do, or anything like this, or a camera on your wall. Well, just take a piece of, get some good, not really cheap, get a good quality electrical tape, black. Or, I know Sheila likes this stuff called, what is that, photo tape or whatever. But, I mean, that may be better. It's paper based, but I don't know if it sticks well. And it's resilient. But plain electrical tape, just cover it up. And that's what I mean. That's really good enough. Granted, it's still radiating and it's on. And you may have to do that, but it's not going to be as bad. We can't poke it out and without, fear of blowing up circuitry behind it. Honestly, if you put an open circuit to any light that's in anything you're doing, everything should still work because nobody in any electronics is that dumb anymore to run it in series and have it break everything. But you know what? I hate to say it, but probably just gave the criminals a very good idea. Because if they run it in series, in some way or shape or form, then yeah, people who try to take out the lights will wind up taking out the product too. But I think if that happens and then you get a rash of returns and stuff, well, one of the criminals because they're the ones who did it that way, and that's not logical. You don't do electronics that way, period. Even Christmas lights that used to be series, you pull out one and they all go down. I think a lot of it's still like we have like a lot of this kind of stuff. Now you pull one out. It's even street lights. Way back they did it serial, and street light goes out. The whole city of New York or some blackout. This stuff wouldn't happen again because it's empirical. It's a different concept. And if you don't know this, well, now you know you need to learn something about electronics. So, is that enough? Looking at the time here, it's 9 and 13 minutes. It's over an hour program. I don't think we're on 2 hours, don't worry. I think we're going to another 10 minutes here at most. We'll drop it at an hour and 30 about, and I'm not a stickler on time, but that's another pet peeve of what, and like I said, going back to the pills, they want to take it at certain times. You eat at certain times a day. You got to get away from this. The body doesn't work this way. Sleeping at certain times. Now, if you're one of these working men, hours like that. Well, this is it. How desperate for money versus choosing a job. That's it. Because honestly, what you may not realize is everything you decide is you're buying into it. And when you buy into it, you're telling the world you like this. When you tell the world you like this, it provides more of it to you. So if you accept or settle for SHIT, don't be surprised if there's more SHIT in your life. it's natural because people want to make money. They're looking, and that's why they've gone into trying to find out everything we enjoy buying and evade our, and an excuse to evade our privacy for that. Simply because then they know where to direct how they're going to sell us other things. And most of it, like I said, unnecessary, but they know the youth or whoever will snatch it up as something because another thing we're trying to keep bored and we've forgotten basic things. Having conversations like this is one-sided right now, and we should be able to talk like this too. And some people aren't, they get in front of I used to be this way. I go up, just make a speech and and that was nothing. I said, you don't do in your speech. It only means that you got a bug. Anyway. So, of course, I delay about thinking about what I'm going to say. What I'm going to say. It's not a fluid calm. Is it fluid? I'm not maybe the latest newscaster, but this is another thing. And going back to playback rate, the playback speed up that's been done in media applies to video. Now I have seen videos corrected. I've seen audio corrected. I've recently heard music in restaurants and other atmosphere, places where you go for atmosphere, corrected. I'm very happy about that. I know I'm somewhat responsible for that because I know I pointed it out. And nobody I knew focused my attention on it before I did. Doesn't mean anybody else didn't know. People who were behind it didn't know. But anyway, a lot of newscasts, and this is another pet peeve, they record them, of course, ahead of time. Somewhat, I think most of the morning. Well, I think we think are live or not. And by the time you get it, it's been sped up 10%, and their excuses, we got to get more news to you, we only got half an hour. And how much it costs, and all that stuff. I think a lot of those, I don't think it costs, as much as it's just they want to do it that way. And like I said, it's big business. It's generating money so that they generate easy money so they don't have to go out and blow a field, they don't have to go and dig a ditch, they don't have to go out and be a garbage man. Whatever it is, they don't have to do that or even whatever it is, because why? They're making big bucks just sitting in office perhaps, prescribing medication. And what you don't realize, I realize now is, they got this huge book, all these books about what they could possibly prescribe when you think they're geniuses. Take this one as food for thought. They already know what the current problem is, that the trend is that they're trying to actually inflict upon you, that you're ready to self-inflict upon you, being convinced it's good for you or whatever you're doing. They already know, and it's maybe between 3, 4, a handful of medications they already know that are gonna fit you, and chances are, since probably all of it is based upon deadening your nerves so that you don't pay attention to anything that's wrong, that it's going to work for you. Any of them, it doesn't matter. They don't have to really know. Okay, they went to school, they did that. Why? Because they have to have that piece of paper, and it has. They have to prove probably they came from the college, and they study and all this stuff. But honestly, human being, I don't, you tell me, the capacity of keeping on it is more than Einstein had in his mind up front. And I think, you know, we talk a good illusion because we can. Look, take magic, right? You know it's magic, right? Looks like it's darn near impossible, but then you know it's not really happening. That there's a trick to it, and there's a trick to what these people do. And you wonder why you have to feel like leaving a restaurant. And what you don't know is, then that happened. This a song that came up at 10% faster came on. You didn't recognize it. You had no clue what it's supposed to sound like. You're not paying attention to music at all. You're with your family and having your discussion. But all of a sudden, you kind of think it's time to get going for whatever reason. You know what I might tell you is, but you didn't know, the music was dictating your rhythm and not you. So external forces do affect us. They have to, or physical, man. And I don't think we can get anything done here if we're not in physical form. It's tied up. What's symbiosis? I don't know if that's real. It's really all physical. It really is. The concepts, ideas can be considered spiritual force. But in the end, the important things in life, what do they call it? Life, because living, and to stay living. And if you're causing people stress, pain, whatever, and I do occasionally, when I have sudden, just gotta stop. And it's not also about you stopping and inflict pleasure, but chances are that you're being inflicted on, things are done to you. And like I should have taken a water break longer. So, but I'm just gonna wrap it up anyway. So we're done, and maybe I'll do who knows what. Actually, I need a drink, and that's something, you're not feeling well, and you're expressing things or imparting whatever pain to the world. So I'm done. And so see you next time if you choose to show up.